Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. Vikings Season 5, Episode 20, or the season finale, Ragnarok. And there was no Hulk, no Thor, but this was a fun episode of Vikings. It definitely finished off, to a certain extent, the story that they built up this season. They didn't pull back on it, in whether the battle scenes were completely perfect in every way that they could be. I did like how it was conclusive, and we did get to actually see some of it, unlike just flashing into people's thoughts and such. I like the conclusion of the episode with the Bjorn finish. I have some little nitty pickies here and there, but overall, this was a very fun season or back half of the season of Vikings. I enjoyed this last group of episodes. Maybe my favorite was like 2 episodes ago, and last week's episode had me at a little bit more of an intense high. But it was fun. Ivar was cackling his ass all over this episode, and getting to see him get some sort of a comeuppance was pretty cool. I feel like the little battle between with Kylo and Rey and the Emperor's guards there could have been fleshed out a little bit better, more individually. But overall, again, I like how they kind of just gave it to us. They slapped it all across our face through this whole episode. And of course, we get another Ragnar sighting. They can't do that enough for me, okay? If you want to put Travis Fimmel in every single episode from this point on in the future of Vikings, I'm okay with it. I did kind of at a point towards the end of the episode when they were doing the Bjorn is king, hail Bjorn king, he takes the Iron Throne of the Viking crown. I did appreciate that, and I like that, and I kind of like the vision that Bjorn had in that moment. But would have been interesting leading into the final season if that just ends the storyline of Ragnar's kids. I know that there's much more to be told, but that was almost a decent ending point for this story, and then do a time jump to talk about some other important Vikings in the final season before it's over outside of the Ragnar family, and maybe hear tales of what happened to some of the characters. But I don't think that's the case now, because we're more going to lead forward to next season, which I assume is going to be Ivar on the Run, because we actually already saw little images from the next season, which I was really surprised about when at the end of the episode when they showed us a trailer essentially for the back half episodes, and it said coming soon. It almost in a Back to the Future 2 into 3 way. Hey, wait, where's my mind at? It's early, I'm not even drunk yet, but my mind's already in Viking 3 ways. But I did feel like it hinted that it felt like they were going to say that it was going to come out sooner rather than later. My guess is it's going to come out sometime in June or July. That's just picking Viking rabbits out of a hat. I was going to say apples out of a barrel, but I couldn't think of that. I had trouble formulating thoughts. Let's jump into the live motherfucking chat here for a second. Antoine says, it appears that Ivar has left the building. Smokey the Bear LaFleur says, I have a love-hate relationship with this episode. Alexander asks, who died? So, for quick, who died, if you want to know, who died on Viking Watch tonight? Viking Watch, Magnus dies. If you're asking who's Magnus, you don't care. He's dead. He finally knows who he is. Oh, guys, I know who I am. Blah! Could you just see? That was one of my whatever points. That almost thankful at that point. Thank you for not making me have to deal more with Magnus, because I have no interest in it. And then the other big death, I guess, would have been the Ivar's queen, Freya's, who really had a good episode, and I think overall as a run of a character was effectively done. And I liked her move just as a character itself in the episode, and the actress puts on an excellent performance in that role, and I think she comes to play in this part. So let me continue with the live motherfucking chat. Smokey says, hate the over-the-top Prince Ivar and Lake Minnetonka. I like Ivar. Says Smokey. No Floki update. I was going to talk about that in a second. For the first time, I'll bitch about that in a moment. Laggy's still alive to finish the series. The battle scenes were not up to Viking standards. Paul, talking about Babylon 5 in the live chat. And Smokey says, I love the king's speech flashback on the snowy mountaintop. The reference to the blue-eyed giants. Is any of this real? The crazy king Olaf. Alex says, the people who didn't care for Lando's antics but was a fan of his silliness. We got fine essence in the live chat. We've got your best friend. We've got Lady Dreamfire liking Bjorn's wife a lot, says K-Rich. This was one of her best episodes. She's really awesome in the action scenes and the battle stuff, and I'm starting to understand there. I guess the actress, seems to be understanding her character a little bit more and having a little focus down here in her relationship with Bjorn, and figuring out who she is pretty exciting, and it's good to kind of get to know a new character like that. And yeah, I'm a fan of hers as well, especially in this episode. I thought this was a very good episode for her. Theodore, great to see you, Theodore. Great to see everyone. Cammy in the live chat, too. Fine Essence, did you see Gunhild eat that arrow and keep moving? Yeah, she is a fucking machine. She's like the Terminator out there on the battlefield. I think that's what's really awesome. And then when she comes, she has an interesting way about her, too. And actually, I fix the audio situation so we can actually listen to the audio and it's not going to sound like a 1950s broken record player that is skipping as well. So we will get to read that. Did anyone catch the Game of Thrones vibe tonight? Smokey the Bear Flair. Yes, especially at the beginning of the episode. There was they didn't say it, but it was damn fucking close to winter is coming. I don't know exactly what the line of dialogue was. Again, we'll listen to the audio and get to hear it straight up and see if it sounds like it again. But in the moment, it felt like it. And I almost felt at times in the first half an hour of this episode, it had a feel to it of the Battle of the Wall episode from Game of Thrones. Not quite on that crazy scale and that in keeping up for that constant amount of time that battle took place in that episode and just was, the whole fucking episode. But I did get a little bit of a Game of Thrones vibe at a couple of points. There was a couple of lines of dialogue that just rang very Game of Thrones-y as just a tongue-in-cheek wink to being friendly with production staffs and stuff. I don't know if that was on purpose or just it was very fun. Let's see. Let's scroll down here. Ivar betrayed. It was Freydis. You're the one that broke my heart. And don't you worry, I see Fury. That Godfather stuff's coming at some point. It's tough. I have to block out a really excellent amount of time to watch the Godfather series. How the hell is Ivar gathering armies to get Kattegat back again? Seems strange. I don't think he's going to try to get Kattegat. I severely doubt that we're going to see Ivar make that attempt, and if we do, it's not going to be till the back half of the last half of the season 6. I think he's going to gather forces that are in York or over in Wessex and try to use them to raid with and build up a fan base over there, separate from everything. While maybe his brothers will hunt him down, but that seems to me would be Ivar's plan. But and that's just, I'm putting my Miss Cleo hat on, but I don't really know. But that's what I would speculate. That's what I would pull out of my assume. That's what I would do. Pull out of my ass. Sorry. Can anyone just tell me who the fuck died? Magnus died and Freya's died. And then a shitload of red shirt Vikings died. And this whole season, Bishop Batman died. Who else died? A couple of other people died. Rest in peace, House Crazy Pants. House Crazy Pants is finally gone. They will be missed, especially the queen and the founder of House Crazy Pants. She really identified herself as an individualistic, entertaining, fun-loving goofball of a character in the time that we had her. I don't feel like Magnus was able to gather, even for a moment, a level of interest in me, except for when he was a baby. I feel like the baby had more of a compelling screen presence than the guy the character that we've got on the screen. And I'm not going to blame the actor, because I just don't think he was written in a cliched kind of way. Even the way he went out was very cliched. So I don't know. The Magnus stuff, I'm choosing to add my own bullshit to it to make it more interesting. That Magnus really wasn't Ragnar's son, that he never had sex with Crazy Pants, he just peed on her, or she peed on him, or there was something with the golden showers going on with her and Ragnar. I don't want to get into what they had to do with urination. What people do in the privacy of their own bush is up to them, but I love to imagine that he wasn't Ragnar's kid, and it makes it all the more funny, really. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil, the Issues Guy. I told you before I couldn't get into season 5, period, but I do watch you once in a while to talk about Vikings. Well, that means a lot to me. Whether you're into the shows we watch, I try to throw enough random goofiness. And I forgot to mention, as I never can actually start a show, and I end up just going right into it. If anyone wants to call in or leave a voicemail or a text at 781-990-8509, again, that's 781-990-8509. You can do that or jump in the live motherfucking chat, or if you're listening to this on a recording later, or if you're listening to this on your Fisher-Price tape recorder later, make sure you check out the shows, dude. If you're listening to this later on YouTube or on the podcast, you can also call into that number or text that number 781-990-8509 and share your thoughts, and I will read your comment or question or play your voicemail on the next show. So also tonight, as well as Vikings, I will be talking about a couple of other shows. Theoretically, maybe, doubtful, Joe Dirty Locks might be joining me later to talk about one of them, but probably not. But I will be talking about the most recent episode of True Detective Season 3 and a bit about The Punisher Season 2. So yeah, after Vikings. So anyone that's here just for Vikings, I will get through Vikings and then I will get into that stuff at the end. So here we go. Let's get into this episode as we go into the live motherfucking chat a little bit more. Hey, love you, Cammy. Great to see you in the live chat. Great to see Smoke of the Bear with Flair. Everybody, even the costumes were in Game of Thrones Night King otherish tonight. This episode was stupid. I love it. Bernie's in the live motherfucking chat coming to play. I love all the love and all the hate for this episode or for this season. Bring it. We want to hear about it and talk about it and share it on the show, because it is a hit or miss season for some people. Was this my favorite of all the season finales? No. This wasn't. Did I like this episode? Here's why I do my pro and cons list out loud. Was it as good as... Was it as good as I felt like some of the last 3 or 4 episodes were in the season? No. I did kind of like some aspects of it, but I'd love to hear why Birdie thought it was stupid. I love hearing what Smokey didn't like about the episode either. So, Blue Steel in the live motherfucking chat. What up, motherfucking chat? I laughed so hard at the end. Ivar doing his best Robert Downey Jr. impression from Tropic Thunder. And I'm a lead farmer, motherfucker. I thought it was ridiculous. Ivar's soliloquy where he did the pimp flock. Oh, we're going to listen back to Ivar's soliloquy. It's going to be great. Magnus, rest in peace. Sad, says Brian Dodd. Not enough people died. Harold was injured. Harold had internal bleeding, and he just kept going. I mean, it's almost like Ragnar did something similar at some point in one of the battles that they were losing. But yeah, Harold was interesting in this episode, and he had his chance on Bjorn, but he saved his life. Big E. And I'm mad Ivar isn't dead. I would have liked to see them kill Ivar. That would have been fun. Magnus had a pissy role. K. Rich. Telling it like it is. Magnus had a pissy role. Totally agree. An unnecessary character. Great siege fighting tactics done on a budget. And that's what that's the thing. When even we can get a breath of a feel like what at least I did of some Game of Thrones vibes to at least the setups of stuff. What Vikings does on the budget they have compared to what some other shows do on much bigger budgets, shows that Netflix have tried to put together or other shows that have been thrown at tons of money and they try to pull off stuff. It just doesn't work. At least even when things may be a little stupid, I'll always give it to Vikings production crew and everything for putting together something that looks fucking awesome and continuously gets better and continuously makes makes fucking gold out of lemonade. Let's go. What's up with Uba and his brother not speaking to each other? Uba's still pissed that Hitzak chose Ivar in the divorce. So that's really what that comes down to. They're one conversation away from being friends. K Rich, I agree. I agree. That show has not disappointed me this season yet. Vikings was Vikings was great, says Brian. Punisher season 2, the first 3 episodes and the last 3 episodes, says Biggie. Haven't seen episode 4 yet. I mean, no offense to people who still enjoy the show, but I can't stand any of the sons of the actors, not the characters themselves. I'm still a bit curious on how the story ends, though. Great to see Jay in the live chat. Harold is not long for this world. And it wouldn't have been bad to see him meet his end saving Bjorn on the show. And I know maybe the character historically has more to do, but on the show they could have done anything they wanted right there. And I think it would have been a good final moment for Harold to have gone out saving Bjorn. Santovia Major in the live motherfucking chat because Hitzak left Uba and Uba's like, bitch, please stay out, Santovia. I won't be surprised if Floki emerges from the cave covered with soot and 3 baby dragons climbing all over him. Blood magic, I see Fury. Blood magic. Birdie, whoever stops Ivar cart will ask, where's your poopy farm? Poppy farm. Poopy farm works as well. I see Fury. Great Ragnar sighting. Yes, we got another Ragnar fucking sighting. So let's not waste any more time. And let's get into this shit. Because I'm ready. I'm ready to get into it. There's no, as I'm distracting my time. I'm off my, don't have my timing today. So I'll tell some of you guys in the after show or on the patron stream why I'm feeling a little extra weird today. Well, I'll definitely talk about that. There'll still be a patron podcast. I'll try to do it in the next 24 hours or before the 31st for January. I've just been extra crazy this month and got a lot of shit to talk about on that podcast. So I'll try to record that tomorrow for everybody. So, and tell you guys why I'm feeling a little weird tomorrow or Friday at the latest. Even though with Friday the 1st, yeah, still, whatever. It counts. It counts. So, let's get into this shit. Let's not waste any more time and talk to fucking, where are you, fucking song? Play the fucking song, you motherfucker. Time for the recap. Okay, here we go. Lagertha. That's because Lagertha it's a cheat grandma, K-Rich. K-Rich says Lagertha was the hottest grandma on TV. It's a cheat. It's a fake. There we go. What's the timestamp? Deep Space Nine reference. 18 minutes and 56 seconds. Beep. But okay. So Lagertha is still. Ivar was looking like he was going to go work in a rice field. What the fuck was that? Oh, Ivar looked like he was trying out for the Mortal Kombat movie to play Raiden or something. It was supposed to shield them from the arrows, but it arrived 10 minutes late, and all those guys except Bjorn got shot. Uba will get revenge on the Lagertha. What was the farmer's market tent that caught on fire supposed to prove? It was the dumbest prop I've ever seen. I love it. I love the live motherfucking chat as always. So this episode opens up. We're on a hill looking at the army setting up as they report back to Ivar, and Ivar's doing some prep work as we see Ivar is a genius.
Earl in every district under your control. They collect taxes and fines. Each one provides 60 soldiers for your army.
Blacksmith! You understand what you have to do.
I do indeed. I'm straight to work.
Good man. Good
Good man. Okay, so first of all, awesome. Yes, it doesn't sound like someone dragging a record player through their ass like the audio sounded the last couple of weeks. So thank you to those of you in the live motherfucking chat who threw out some suggestions, and I fixed my wire. I straightened it. Thank you, Blue Steel. Thank you, Blue Steel. It no longer sounds like I took a record player, dragged it through a dinosaur's ass, and then time traveled back to the 1950s and used that kind of technology, audio equipment, to hook that up to my mixing board through time suddenly and make it sound like sorry ass. Okay, anyways, so we see Ivar doing some prep work. We hear a horse's balls slap against the ground. So then the scouts are back to report to Ivar what the fuck's going on. Tell him. And he says, your brothers and King Finehair are here. They're gonna fuck you up, dude.
One was led by Bjorn Einstein and King Harald Finehair.
You recognize them?
And the other army?
By a king or earl we did not recognize.
Together with someone we did recognize.
My brother Vitek.
Yes, my king.
And you're completely sure?
Yes, without any doubt.
Yes, Smokey, a phonogram. I was using a phonogram the last few weeks. Ivar is sexy, says Brian Dodd. Torvi did look bad this episode. Someone said that Torvi looked older than Lagertha. The shield Bjorn side had were awful, and yeah, I mean, you could go to our characters had plot armor protecting them through the whole time, and everybody but our main characters died. And I liked our little strike force thing in there at the end. It would have been a more, and I hate to be television bloodthirsty, but sometimes in a big battle like this, some of the strongest moments are when you lose characters that you care about. And I think part of the problem in this battle was we needed it. We didn't need it. It would have been nice. Wouldn't it be nice to have a character die? Then we wouldn't have to bitch about it. I'm sorry, that's horrible. But I still think that it would have been a stronger emotional battle if somebody had been lost. As much as I love, it's tough though, because so many of these characters have things to do later. I guess Hitzak would be the strongest one for some flexibility to lose him, but I don't know. Finehair too as well. I guess you could have lost any of them except for if you want the ultimate outcome to have been Bjorn becoming the king. Bjorn couldn't have been on that list, and I don't think Bjorn was ever in danger in any discussions in this episode as they're moving forward. As the seer was saying, you will be famous beyond your father, and Bjorn's got a lot of stuff left to do. But I did feel that if the big quote-unquote shock death in the episode, or the strong moment that happened in that sense, was what happened to Magnus, that was the worst part of the entire episode. Any focus on him were for me some of the times where I was thinking about getting up and getting some Cheez-Its. Those were the Cheez-It moments. I'm trying to think of a song to sing about romantic Cheez-It moments, but it's not coming, so I won't be coming. I don't know. Hey, I lost my connection. What did I miss? You missed some horrible singing at some point, of course. Wet skin stretched over a wood frame was an effective guard against oil fire until arrows pierced the hide. Lighter than wood roof. All of the wood rams fired easy, says K-Rich. Hey, we get to see Natalie in the live motherfucking chat. Great to see you, Natalie. And great to see all of our friends popping on in here tonight for this season finale of Vikings, which I think was a mixed bag episode. I think there were some good high points, and I like the progression of the story, and I'm not going to overly crap on it because season finales finishes are the most difficult part. We got 20 episodes left of Vikings. I am excited about it. It isn't fucking the sky is falling bullshit. It was indicative of the rest of season 5. And I feel like the final 3 or 4 episodes of the season leading up to this were stronger than the rest of season 5. We're kind of that gives me hope. Because I'm like an optimist slut sometimes with shows that I want to like. So I'm gonna use that slutty optimism, and I'm gonna lob it onto Vikings, slap it in the buttocks, and oh fuck, we got a super chat donation. Holy shit, thank you so much. I cannot say thank you enough. Holy fuck, we got Southeast with a super chat, and I'm gonna give him the spin on the motherfucking wheel. Let's spin this shit. I want to play music when I spin the wheel. Someone said I love music. It landed on Joe Drink. Well, Joe Dirty Locks is not with us tonight, so I have to figure out my co-host needs to take a drink, and my co-host is, of course, this asshole over here.
Hi, everybody. I'm Phil's stupid co-host.
Okay, stupid co-host. What are you doing tonight? I'm drinking. No, thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate that. Oh, let me turn this shit off. And I wouldn't have minded. I was gonna get into this bitch. Whoa, the alcohol is hitting my head rather quickly. The I'm drunk already. I've had like three sips and I'm already like feeling it. So what I think is weird is I've asked for so much in this season that I've not wanted to see Floki in his storyline. To choose to not give us any Floki in this episode, even in the end, was for a quick flashover. Is an interesting moment. I would have rather this episode split with the battle and then the death of Floki, and watching Floki have one last spiritual, mental adventure and then say goodbye to his character at the end of that episode. As much as I love the character, it's time going into the final season, and he got crushed by a volcano. You're going to make us wait because you're going to use half of next season's episodes on Floki crawling in the cave, and it's going to be Floki crawls, and then he meets this group of insects in the cave, and he tries to organize peace between the insect populations. It's going in that direction. We all know. Natalie says, I've only seen parts of Vikings. I can watch it tomorrow. It sucks. Well, I'm going to tell you all about the episode tonight, so I really do appreciate you popping on in here. Natalie, okay, fucking Rich. I'm freezing my tuchus off. Yeah, anyone who's in the cold fucking areas tonight, for whatever it's worth, let me beep, 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 beep. Winter is coming, everybody. The White Walkers have attacked parts of the United States tonight. This just in. It's fucking cold here in Boston. And in the fucking Chicago land area, it's even fucking colder. The Night King has landed down. He has landed down, riding a motherfucking crazy shit going on. Whatever. But anyways, so stay fucking warm and keep your fucking faucets on, dudes. I cheered when Magnus got shot. I smiled and laughed too. What the fuck if Ivar comes back with Uncle Rapey? The fucking Rollo. You're warm. I'm fluctuating between 1 and 0 degrees here. Man took. Look that Uba gave his boy Hitzak. They definitely got some shit to work out to the Southeast. Hey, Natalie, who's in Germany right now. Natalie, lots of love to you. So much thanks for you to tune on in. Everyone else in the live chat, wherever you are, pop on in there. Where the hell are you? Listening and talking and babbling from the chat. And we got Natalie from fucking Germany. Good morning to you. And also K Rich with a super chat donation. K Rich, thank you, buddy. Vikings' constant weakness is its budget and the immensity of its mythic and historical arc, but it does good with what it's got. Spin the wheel for K Rich. Spin the fucking wheel. Like, let me fucking, I'm not quick enough with the music. Not quick enough with the music for the wheel. I'm like, super chat. So thank you so much for that super chat donation, K Rich. And it landed on drink again, or in between drink and bite a sandwich. So as soon as I start playing some audio clips, I will bite a sandwich for you too, K Rich. Thank you so much for that love, appreciations, motherfuckers, and to all of our super chatters this season in Vikings, and of course to all our patrons as well. You guys are amazingly fucking awesome. So here we go. Southeast facts. If you only knew the power. If you only knew the power of the dark side. There was no cliffhanger in this season finale, which was cool. And that's what I mean I liked about the end of this episode. Even if I didn't like the complete journey of each point here and there, I liked that they gave us a conclusive end that could have served as of an end of Vikings if we didn't know that there were 6 episodes coming later. I mean, Ivar gets away, but if they had just tweaked it a little bit and killed Ivar there and had Bjorn sit as king with that little speech and that fast forward monologue thing that the seer popped up in, that was a kind of a good conclusive moment for a season or for an arc. Let's go. It feels like -30 with the fucking wind chill. Why are you guys hating on Magnus? Sad. Raw, Ragnar's son. I thought he was interesting and we'll miss him. He was a good actor. No doubt that the actor might be good, and I can't wait to. I'd love to see him in some other stuff. I just feel like the character didn't get enough of an introduction for me to care about him enough. I mean, that's awesome that you did, and you found that there with him. He wasn't offensive to me, if that makes sense. It's just I feel like they needed more time to set him up. We needed some time with him alone before we were introduced to him with the other kids. I don't know. I just would have liked to get to know him better. But he could have been he could have been a contender. So yeah, sorry to hate on Magnus a little bit. Freya's ruined Ivar's life. Magnus was not Ragnar's son. He unless the little known urination impregnation clause that happened in Viking lore. It's a little known fact that 1 in a million urine cells have one single sperm in them. So perhaps if I say that enough, does it make it true? Floki's dead, Phil. I think I saw him move. So I don't know. I wonder if we'll be back with Floki ever, or you could be right that we're supposed to imagine that Floki died, which would make sense in reality. If a volcano fell on someone, they would die. But I thought that they showed him moving there at the end. I could be wrong. I'd have to rewatch that episode again. Whoa, Harold greater than Bjorn. He had blonde hair. Why? Don't hate on Magnus. Don't hate on Magnus. I'm gonna smoke some Granddaddy Purple. Yeah, eat that motherfucking sandwich. Maybe Bjorn was missing his brother so much that he accepted that kid. Is season 6 gonna have 20 episodes as well? Yes, it is. Have no idea why they had Magnus in there at all, says Natalie. Exactly. Oh, Centovia. Ragnar lied. He did have sex with Crazy Lady. I love how you say that, He did have sex with Crazy Pants. No, he didn't. Crazy Pants lied. We have a great discussion in the live motherfucking chat right now about this. Time to make the sandwiches. If you watched then, you knew Ragnar told Magnus that there was no way he was his son. He never had sex with the crazy-ass mother. So, yeah, volcano falls on him. He's done. This is Brian Todd. Oh, my goodness. Lots of love to the live motherfucking chat, who is cracking me up right now. Every time you hear me giggling, it's not it's because of something I'm reading that one of you guys are saying right now. And wait a second. I'm sorry. I gotta play a few seconds. We're gonna litter this out throughout the evening because we're lucky enough to get a message from the one and only Tim Gersh, who always gives us gold. So here we go with some good Tim Gershi.
Yeah, hey, pal. So anyway, first of all, shut the fuck up.
Okay, well, so that will start right there. First of all, shut the fuck up. Okay, perfect. I will. And not only that, Tim, not only that, I will also do this.
Shut the fuck up, Tim. Shut the fuck up, Tim.
Okay, I needed to shut the fuck up. I needed a moment to take some liquid. To sip it. Sip it real good. So I've made it so far into the episode right here. The scouts are reporting back to Ivar and say, what the fuck? He's still talking to the scouts.
That is good. Don't you?
And I will play the rest of Tim's message as in certain points in the evening as we go on.
It's good, Freddy's. My fellow gods at last allowed me to see my fate. Now, all of my brothers are against me. Now I know I'm the chosen one.
Wrong direction of piss. Magical conception requires male piss, not Mary Sue. Thank you, K-Rich. So off to Bjorn and Hitzak and Finehair and Olaf talking about Ivar setting him up, or just what they're going to do with this situation. So let's listen to a little bit of these guys talking.
He made preparations for a siege. And perhaps we should negotiate with him.
No. Brother is right. Never again will we negotiate with Ivar. It is useless.
Okay, so enough of that. So we're not going to negotiate. Negotiation with him is freaking useless. And there we go with that. So then we go to Torvi asks Lagertha, what's wrong? Tell me your secrets as we're bouncing around to all of our interested parties. And I like how we stop in with Torvi and Lagertha in the Uba crew here, but we don't really see them to the end. I thought they were going to be, what's that expression, like Chekhov's army here at the end to save the battle, but that tends to be one of the things I liked about this episode. They didn't show up exactly at the right time. They kind of did, but they kind of didn't. They didn't show up to change the tide of battle. They showed up to bring Bjorn his sword, which could have happened at any point in time. They could have sent for them later after the battle was already won, and it could have been much, much, much later. But either way, I didn't mind them showing up, and I like how they popped up at the beginning and then popped up at the end. So let's listen to a little bit of their conversation.
It was reborn.
You were between life and death. What did that teach you?
The only thing that I've learned is that life is about suffering. There's no escape from it.
That's the truth.
What's important is how we deal with suffering, how we deal with the truth.
What's life about? Life's about pain. You tell them it's all about pain.
They will find out for themselves.
Yeah, come on. They're gonna find out the way we all found out. Through life.
Soon we shall reach Kattegat.
So what's our next scene? Let's go right into it.
The world
This is
will
all,
be wrecked.
These are all our pre-battle our foreplay of this episode, which was a good foreplay. I like the lead up to the battle. The foreplay is a lot of times can be the best part. And Olaf's speech of the upcoming battle and talking about Ragnarok here was cool. And Olaf is a captivating speaker in character and has a lot of gravitas to him, and definitely had a single-minded character perspective of being like, everything's gonna go to hell and maybe we're all fucked here, but I like him at the end, and I like him throughout. He's a good presence to Vikings.
Midgard will be wrenched by wars for 3 winters. Fathers will slaughter sons. Brothers will be drenched in one another's blood. Mothers will desert their menfolk and seduce their own sons. Fimbulvetter, the winter of winters.
Oh yeah, here it is. The winter is coming. The winter of winters is coming.
Will grip and throttle Midgard.
Spiders as big as dogs will come out from the
wolf.
Wait, and then that's the other part. He talks about the wolf eating the lion, or he doesn't say the wolf's eating something. There's a wolf doing some shit too, and this is very Game of Thrones-y. Or maybe my mind's just there. Maybe my mind's clouded by April. The April is coming, and it's all I can think about. It's all about that. Maybe it's like looking at like with the the horse shit test or whatever that's called.
The wolf will seize the sun between his jaws and swallow her.
Yeah, the wolf's doing something. That was, you could be talking. That could be someone talking about Robb Stark right there. Come on.
He will spatter Asgard with gore.
And then the warriors.
Yeah, King Olaf and Old Nan have to have a scary story. It's a contest. Wait, is there a game show in which the two of them could compete in to tell kids scary stories? Is this a Nickelodeon pilot? Scary stories with Olaf and Old Nan. Is that the kind of story the young master wants? Come on. So that was a scene where Hitzak Buddha was on the ground. Not sure why. We'll listen to a little bit more of this this Olaf Ragnarok speech as eventually Bjorn kicks in the action too, and they love having a guy like this around. He's good for morale.
The gods in Valhalla will bear arms and fight against the giants and the serpents unleashed against Midgard.
Odin and the wolf.
At first, okay, I think the actor that plays Bjorn's good at what he does when he's, especially in the action scenes, when he's playing some of the ragey type stuff. Sometimes in just like normal dialogue when he's in there, he a few times this season, it's like he's so over the top. It's almost like he's mocking the person he's talking to, but I can't tell if he's trying to do that. And in this moment, for me anyways, it felt like for just like a half a second that he was making fun of Olaf, but I think he was getting into it. I think we were trying to believe, or we were supposed to believe that Bjorn was kind of getting into it, but I got more of a him ragging on Olaf there for a little bit. But no, he was getting into it.
Will be the first to engage, and the battle will be fearsome. Though in the end, the wolf will swallow Old Father.
Yeah, the wolf will swallow the lion.
That will be the death of Odin.
And then worlds will burn.
And then the wheel will be broken.
The gods will die.
And
the sun will be dark.
And
no
dogs,
stars in the sky.
and dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. You know how it goes.
And the earth will sink into the sea.
When mountains come into the sea, there'll still be you and me. You and me. I can't sing Zeppelin.
Ragnarok.
Yeah. Just for anyone that didn't know.
It's only a story. Stories are all we have.
Well, okay, whatever. Stories are all we have. We have a moment, little flirty moment with Harold there. The two of them have a cool moment there, and then we see Saruman's forces building weapons in number 7 here. My fighting Orakai will destroy any Viking warrior. So yeah, we have that moment right there, which was really cool. So then we get Ivar apologizing to Freya because he needs her love. I need your love. I was so lost without you. And we get Ivar trying to make good on the situation. You know, this is just a tough conversation to have. Listen, guys, I know you watch my podcast and everything, but you gotta forgive me for leaving my never born baby, my fictitious baby, out in the sun on a hot 90-degree day in the middle of the Arizona desert. I'm sorry. I didn't know what to do. But you guys still want to listen to my podcast, right? Can you forgive me? I'm sorry. Just forgive me. I'm Ivar the Boneless. Listen to how cute I am. Look at my eyes. They're not digitally enhanced in any way, shape, or form. Look at me slither around. If I was in Harry Potter, I'd be Slytherin. Look, I'm amazing. Forgive me. Ivar, talk to me.
I need to know that you've forgiven me.
There we go. I need to know that No, I'm sorry. I misjudged. He needs to know that she forgave him. He doesn't care if she actually forgives him. Fucking psychopath. That's what he wants. You just need to say, it's okay. Okay, so he can check that box in his fucking head so he can keep going on and being the horse's ass that he is. That's why I like Ivar. Because he's real. That's a very real person-like thing. So good job, Ivar. But manipulate her into giving you absolution for the shit you did. Because that's what you want. You want the person that's loved you, the only person you feel except for your mother, ass lord. Asslog. Ass lord. I think Ass Lord needs to be somebody though. Is that a band name? Is that a song name? Is that a superhero name? The sequel to my yet coming out sequel to Orgasmo is Ass Lord. Maybe. But because she loves him, he wants her acceptance. He wants her to be like, it's okay, you killed our son. It's okay. Or that baby, my son. It's fine. I love you. You're a god. You're still a god. And you're totally right. Yeah. Sure.
I'm sorry for all that I do. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
I love you for this.
No, you couldn't love shit.
I know that.
You're a piece of shit. You don't love anything. Except for your...
And I love you too.
No, you don't.
And I forgive you.
What's really happening in this conversation is, will you give me absolution? Because I don't want to feel shitty about my fucking killing my baby. I don't want to feel shitty about it. I don't know what kind of voice that was for Ivar, but that was supposed to be Ivar. And Freya's saying, how can I kill you? How can I kill you? What is the easiest and most effective way to kill you? You're going to die. Yeah, just in case something goes wrong and I die, I need to know you're okay with me killing her kid. We're cool, right? That's Antovia Major. We're cool, right? When I tell you, Ivar, I wanted to turn Ivar into Cartman in that moment. When I tell you guys to kill Bjorn, you kill him. He's the enemy. You kill him now. You kill him now, Cal. Sorry. Oh, God. You guys in the live chat are cracking me up tonight, as always. And thank you guys that have joined us all season in the season of Vikings, for good or for bad. All of you guys are better. You know, I have to give you guys all this. You guys are all better than Joe. That's what it really comes down to. Everyone that's stuck around this season for good and for bad in Vikings and its ups and its downs in season 5 are all better than Joe. So thank you guys. Love you guys. Well, yeah, come on, let's bygones be bygones, Santovia. I killed your baby, you know, Santovia. My podcast is good. Come on, just in case, just still listen to me. And babe, please don't tell about the secret Tyrion-like entrance in the back of our place. Don't do that, please. Please don't. I don't know why I'm making Ivar with this kind of accent. Come on. Don't do it. Now I'm going to make him sound like Laka. Thank you very much. I love you guys in the live chat. You guys, thank you. I need your love tonight, and it's very appreciated, and it's going to be some funny stories, as I mentioned in that patron cast, for when you hear about my mindset in the moment right now. Okay, so Ivar apologizes to Freya and needs to forgive him. Forgive me. So the horns go to battle, and Ivar heads out there. And this was one of the best shots of the episode we get. It was kind of silly, but I thought it worked as well. And it threw off the intensity. And I thought this was one of those moments that could have been cheesier than it was. And it was cheesy in all the best ways. And I think it was effective because of the way that Bjorn and Ivar played it. As they saw each other from across the battlefield. Excuse me. Oh no, Joe's here. Joe's right again. So all the Viking forces lay in wait in the bunkers as Ivar watches and everything is set up. Bjorn and him have a stare-off across the battle, and let's listen to a little bit of the sounds of this. Oh, yep. I guess there's nothing to play. Do. Yeah, Freydis, you mad, bro? I just killed our baby. You mad, bro? Don't at me here, Freydis. Come on. Killed our baby. Don't at me. No worries. Stay the fuck away from me. I don't give a fuck. So there's some sounds of that shit. Some more sounds. Get some more sounds. So anyway, all the Viking forces lay in wait in the bunkers, and Ivar watches everything set up and planned. We're going to have Harald and Hitzak attack one entrance, and Bjorn attack another one. And Bjorn and Ivar have a stare-off across the battlefield. Then the battle is on, and we're in the trailer right now. If you saw the trailer of this episode, even if you haven't seen the episode, you saw this scene coming back from commercial break, because it was basically exactly what we saw in the trailer. So the battle's on. We're in the trailer. Bjorn's group charges the gate. Ivar mows them down with arrows. Ivar gives a little one of these to Bjorn. Welcome home. Ivar set up like the T-2000 up there. And now Hitzak's group heads into another gate, and they got tactics and shit. We see Magnus get a good perspective of him. He's with Harald, and Magnus is praying and scared. And then he prays for a second, and then we go away from him, and then we come back to him. It's weird. Then the battle seems to be heading for a second in Bjorn's favor, but mostly in Ivar's favor. And Ivar never lets you forget he's there by laughing loudly the whole time. As Hizek makes his way up to one of the towers, he starts killing a bunch of dudes, going crazy and kicking ass and showing you why he's a main character. And while Magnus just goes over and prays and hides. So we go over to Bjorn again as Bjorn starts to try to open the gate and Ivar is just mocking him. Let's listen to Ivar mock. Stupid.
My brother! You've come too late! Much too late!
Then Ivar goes, flame on! And they light the fire. And within this, we get a dark monologue from Olaf. So it's time for some technical difficulties, and let's all lay back and listen to some Olaf.
No! Burn them alive!
And, oh shit, sorry. And the fire thing was interesting. It seemed to be very localized to one general area instead of as big of a spreading fire situation that I thought it was going to be, but it was still really cool moment in the battle, and it seemed to turn the battle for a second in Bjorn's favor again, but Ivar never lost control of this particular battle. As we've learned in episode 3 of Star Wars, Ivar, you have the higher ground, don't attack. But Bjorn didn't care. He thought the forces would matter, but of course, Ivar had the higher ground. So let's go in the live chat. The seer will see everything. Says kinda, where do you think Ivar's heading? I think Ivar is heading over to Wessex to try to build forces and raid over there and go play chess with King Alfred. I think he's going to try to stick to his plan, what it was, to go to York, build up forces from there, and try to fuck up everything that's going on in that situation. Hi, Betty. Welcome, Kat, in the background. Ray West says, was anyone else disappointed in this episode? Yes, I've definitely had people pop on in the live chat that are not feeling this episode. You're not the first one, Ray. And I'm middling on it. I wasn't disappointed, but I wasn't on as high on this episode as I have been on the final three. Final three before this, or 3 or 4 before this. It was good. It wasn't... I hyped myself up a little bit too much for it. I don't know. Maybe. And that Ivar's heading to Russia. Pacing was off a little bit. The pacing seemed rushed at times. Like I felt like I was watching it. It gave me anxiety at times watching it. I was like, okay. They're popping a lot in there for a minimal of locations, which was an interesting, different change of pace for what they usually do in these battles. They gave us more of just a direct view of it rather than breaking it up with emotional moments and focuses on certain characters. Instead, we got a more of a traditional setup in that kind of situation, which felt interesting too, because we usually don't get something like that on Vikings. But Ray West middling. Yeah, I'm middle. That's where I am. There were things I definitely liked, but I didn't feel 100%. I didn't get my 100% full television orgasm in this episode in the way that I wanted to. The first half of the episode was finale worthy. The second half didn't have any payoff and was rushed to go nowhere. But as always, someone in the live chat is way more succinct in one sentence, or wait, 2 sentences, than I am in a 2.5 hour podcast sometimes. Blue Steel said it perfectly. The first half of the episode was finale worthy, and I agree with that. The setup leading up to the battle was really well done and had me feeling all sorts of Game of Thrones vibes in that first 15 minutes. To the first commercial break was, I think, the strongest section of the episode, leading up to everything. When the action started, it was all right, and it had its high points and its low points. And I like the end, too. And I like the Bjorn finish. Bjorn finishing all over the place. I guess we're all hoping for more when we forget it's a TV show and the depth we want isn't always there. The first half of the episode was finale. Oh, in the second half, I'm sorry. I'm reading Blue Steel's comment again because I love it so much. What about those Muslims? Floki is alive. There can be some mind-fucking things Vikings can do. I wonder what they're going to do with Floki moving forward, because I tend to think, I know Brian Dodd's telling me he's dead, but I don't think Floki's dead. I agree with, is Floki alive? The question is asked. I think Floki's alive. Did you hear Vikings was canceled? Yes, we did. New Life, Live Free. Vikings will finish in season 6. So we have 20 more episodes of Vikings, and then Vikings is gone. As far as it's canceled, yes, we're still going to see 20 more episodes of Vikings. Smokey the Barrel of Flair say again, love-hate relationship with the Vikings, or with this season finale. Floki lives on. Sword of the Kings, cheesy. They made me feel bad for Freya, so I'm disappointed, says Indovia. Freya should have left when she let him. Just like Hitzuk's girl, Thora got to know when to exit. Freya is thick, says drink bleach name. Good name, drink bleach name. Oh, yes, she is the Southeast. New Life, Live Free. Got to see some new names in the live chat. Great to see you guys popping on in here and for this silly discussion of this episode of Vikings. So Bjorn tries to open the gate. Ivar mocks him a little bit. Then we get the death monologue from this guy.
Come and see the death of humanity upon a shore of corpses, broken heads, spilled guts, scorched flesh. Come and see the young tearing each other's throats out. Rivers of poison will flow through the halls. Oath breakers, philanderers, murderers will wade through those rivers. Come and see! Come and see!
Woo, 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 woo. So yeah, it got really weird there in the middle, and some awesome stuff right there with that silly speech. Wait, let's go some more technical difficulties. I'm not done yet. So then the music is awesome. I thought this part was cool too with the music. And Finehair loses his sword and pulls a Ragnar and jumps off and coughs him up some blood. And I kind of thought he was not long for this world. And I wouldn't have mind losing Harold here, as I mentioned earlier, saving Bjorn as he did, but actually getting killed in the process. Hitzuk is all over the battle. He's killing it. He's climbing down, making his way, really showing off. He's like, I am a son of Ragnar Lothbrok, motherfuckers. And then Harold and him have a little discussion about losing the battle. They're like, we're losing. We're losing this battle.
We're beaten. We have to retreat. No. What if Bjorn is winning? What if he's already inside the gate? We cannot run away now.
Ray West says Ivar did kick their ass. Southeast says Ivar's Bobby Fischer on the battlefield. The guy's always 3 steps ahead. Yeah, how the fuck did the archers not shoot his fat, loud ass while he's giving that speech? And Ray says, yeah, those Podak speeches didn't help either. Wait, the seer's alive? Question mark. Kana says, Floki and Ivar will get together. The seer fucking told me. Wait, the seer's alive? Ivar told her to wait on him before she goes to Valhalla. Soldier Boy. Wait in the Soldier Boy voice. Bjorn. The live chat is in the zone tonight. Bjorn gets another son for sure. Floki might be alive, but he might be dead. That's all I meant. No, I hear you, Brian. There's definitely a chance. I tend to think that he is alive. They're probably leaving it open for the actor to make the decision if he wants to come back. But I believe. The Magnus' story, I just want to say the Negus. storyline ended badly, too cleanly tied up. One thing that was fucking cool was Hitsuck and the other pole vaulting up the wall, a new tactic that was cool to watch. Yeah, that's why I was saying earlier they had tactics and shit. And I thought Hitsuck was in general very I tried to say. I really got word tripped up there. Definitely very interesting in this episode and very fun in the battle. He seems to have the actor has a lot of fun in those scenes, and the character really embraces the battle moment. And him and Bjorn were in full Klingon mode in this battle.
The cost of freedom is always
high. Oh no, we don't want commercials. No.
The cost of freedom.
No commercials. No commercials. Hopefully for that like 5 seconds it's gonna be the video is gonna be taken down. So Bjorn's past the fire challenge, making his way with the ram, and Ivar's bringing in more fire, and Bjorn hides and stays away, and Ivar again lights the flame, the fire ram, and the fire doesn't seem to do anything in this moment, and then it's just there, and finally Bjorn breaks through the initial gate. And then he sees that it's a trap or whatever. It's just a setup, and all of his group that gets through the barrier is all surrounded. And this is where I sort of I was watching what was happening and taking notes, and the balance wasn't quite on in this moment, so pardon my horrible notes here. So Bjorn breaks free, and him and his girl, they head up, and they're protected by character stuff, and they find their way out of there. They jump out the window and they roll out, and Bjorn goes into full begging for retreat mode.
Go to retreat! Go to retreat! Sound the retreat! 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 Retreat!
And then all of Ivar's people all cheer that they won, but Bjorn's not done yet. Oh, wait, so I forgot that. So they retreat. We see that Magnus is still alive, but the girl that was set to watch him is dead, and he ends up having a moment where he's like, Odin kept me alive, and he charges the wall, and Finehair's like, dude, you're an idiot. Come over here, you fucking idiot. Stop being a fucking moron. The seer is a White Walker. Oh, Gunchild had a great fight in with another shield melee.
Odin is with me.
Yeah. Odin's with him, and he's going to charge the wall.
I'm Ragnar's son. Odin is with me, and you cannot kill me. I'm Ragnar's son.
Get down, you fool! I wonder about you, Magnus. I always have. At first, I thought you were Saxon's spy.
I was never anyone's spy. I never was. I was just unlucky. I didn't know who I was until right now.
And that's what happened to, this is what I think about Magnus's death. That's that. So, and Magnus is gone. Arrow through the chest. Arrow through the back of the chest. And bye, Magnus. Magnus proved he was the son of Crazy Pants. That's all. So, then Bjorn gives his speech. Listen to this.
You know who I am! I am Bjorn Ironside, son of Ragnar. I grew up with many of you. You are my neighbors, my friends. We played together when we were children. I am not your enemy. Ivar is your enemy. He rules over you with tyranny and cruelty. He was...
Awesome. Thank you, Seb, for that. We get the history. We get an actual history buff in the live motherfucking chat right now. So someone asked how Ivar dies in history, and Seb says, well, in history, he never lost a battle in his life, and he lives and dies to an old age. I wish they keep Vikings going. I like the actors. 20 more episodes is the equivalent of 2 more seasons, and I think this storyline should end in I think 6 seasons is a good place for Vikings to end. Even the best of shows need to have the right moments to go out. Television has a shelf life on shows where it reaches a point of diminishing returns. In all shows, all television shows, even the best of them. So it's better for a show to go out where they knew, and they had wrote both these seasons, and I tend to believe that even though it's written as they were canceled in some places, I think it was more of a mutual kind of thing with the idea of doing spin-off series in the future. So we'll see how things move forward with Vikings in these 20 more episodes that we have after this point. So I know season 6 saying that the next season is the last one, all that kind of crap is an interesting way of thinking about it, but it's also the realistic thing is that we have 20 more. So that's a lot. That's like an old school television season. That's like a final season of Cheers or something. Bjorn sounded terrible. Terrible.
Everything my father. He's lying. Cut him. He's lying. You know me.
You know him. And this was where they Ivar is trying to get his men to kill Bjorn, and they're just sitting there watching him, and Ivar takes the arrow and shoots once, and Bjorn blocks it. Why didn't Ivar try to shoot more arrows? He shot one. So if you're going to try to kill him in one and Bjorn blocks it, okay, why can't you shoot another one? Shoot a few. You have a bunch of arrows. You have a lot of arrows, Ivar. You could just keep shooting it. And then when he's running away, you have another shot from behind. And I know all of his people aren't going to respect him. Well, they don't respect him anyway. Fuck all. Kana, holy shit. We got a sub from Kana popping on the screen. Welcome to Fill the Issues Guy's silliness. Join us all the fucking time, buddy. Thank you so much for joining it. Natalie says sore throat or something. Ivar went from Ivar the boneless to Ivar the homeless. Says Fitz Mod in the live chat. Fitz Mod. Oh fuck. That's good, dude. There we go. I like it. Ray West makes a good point. Ivar realized he looked weak shooting that arrow and himself and not hitting it. So any more would have just continuously made him look weak. It's hard for me to believe that he has that much ability to read the room, but I guess you're right. He probably in that moment realized that he's looking real bad. And I like how he feels he might have won that fight, but he loses something big in that moment with Bjorn. Yeah, gods don't miss. Excellent point by the live motherfucking chat. And so then they're back at the Legion of Doom here. And
there is no point.
Ivar's a god, remember? That scene reminded me of the end of a Battle of the Bastards. Jesus, that Ivar's guys are real jerks, says Fritz Pod. So now the Legion of Doom, after trying to fight our hero, Ivar, have this discussion of what next, dudes?
Get gates again. We will never get in that way.
They have lost a great many...
I love how Harold is coughing up blood and he just rubs some sand on it and it's all better. They don't make guys tougher than Harold Finehair dudes.
Glorious. The pros are probably feasting in their hearts and livers right now. If it was me, I would walk away from this battle. I do not see a way to win. Ivar is clever. Everything you all think, he has already fought.
Bjorn and I are sons of Ragnarok. We don't give in.
That's fine. But Ivar is the son of Lagertha as well.
Well, I'm going to fight you. I have a force field. Well, I have a force field blocker that breaks up your force field. Well, I have an anti-force field blocker that destroys that. Well, I traveled in time and fucking sabotaged your anti-force field device so my force field can go through it. So there.
So what?
When I tell you to kill Bjorn, you kill him!
Oh, well, let's just go right into this next scene where Ivar is chastising his men for not killing Mr. Bjorn.
That Bjorn is not your friend. He is your enemy.
It's so much better when I can actually play this fucking audio. I mean, I know I like to talk and I like to babble and I like to, but it's always better listening to the stuff when I'm like that. And then the guy said whatever and said fucking bullshit. So I'm glad I figured this out. Thank you to people in the live chat for some suggestions.
If he and King Harald succeed in their ambitions, then what future do we have? They have great plans, yes, but those plans do not involve you. You, the ordinary folk of Kattegat. I am the only one who speaks for you. And I swear that I will live and die for any of you.
Sure, Ivar.
All that I ask is for your absolute loyalty.
What do you think? I think if Floki knew what happened with everything and what kind of person Ivar turned into, it might drive... I know people will be like, you're wrong here. You're wrong. You're wrong. I think he'd try to kill Ivar. I think he'd come out of it. And especially with everything he's seen and everything he's been through with all of this and seeing Ivar running Kattegat the way he was running it, I think in that point he would have fought in that fight to try to kill Ivar. Maybe. Or no, maybe he's given it up. He's a different Floki.
Otherwise, we shall all perish together.
Sure, Ivar. So then we get Bjorn. Bjorn and wife talking about Bjorn's failings and feelings. And this was a fun scene. This was fun shit. So I'm just going to lean back and listen to this.
What do you think?
About everything. About Kattegat.
I'll just speed through this scene. So they're talking. They talk about his failings. They talk about his kids. They have some post-fight coitus. And she wants and she wants and she wants. And she says, you know, I'm crazy. You knew this. And he says, I saw it too. And then then we have like an extended for the USA cut. We got a little bit more extended sex scene than we usually get on Vikings. We got a couple of bounces there. And and it was pregnancy sex, so they could extend it because it was about love. There we go. And she wants to get pregnant because they could die any day. And then they bang and they bang shebang, say bang bangity bang, do bang shebang, say bang bang bangy bang bang bang, pregnancy bang, one shot and you're pregnant. Bangity bang, bangity bang, Ragnar baggy bang bang. Okay, I know. I'm sorry. I know some people think that music's horrible. But anyways, so we get that moment going on there. It's fine. And someone said, yeah, Floki raised Ivar, says Kata. Can you go over how genius Ivar is during the battle, especially when he traps Bjorn inside the wall with his archers? Absolutely, and thank you for bringing that up, Seb. I kind of grazed over it a little bit. as much as I can shit on Ivar and Ivar cackles and stuff, when it comes to the battle tactics, that's where Ivar is at a strength. Most of what everyone else has for tactic points is whatever tools that they have and being able to go forward. Ivar has an actual plan. And I thought it was effectively depicted in this episode, how Ivar was in control of the situation like he's playing a giant game of 3D chess and has everything in control, has his moments, had a plan set that anticipated what his brothers would do, set enough men on one side to withstand Harold and Hitzak's forces because he had his spies out there and set his spies, or scouts, his scout spies out there to check out where they were coming from and anticipated what their battle actions would have, set up one side that had enough people to withstand enough that force. He controlled the other side where he knew Bjorn was coming from, so he could have more direct control over that battle. And he had a booby trap essentially set, and a contingency plan set just in case Bjorn got through the door. You know, essentially you hope that you could just shoot him down, but if somehow he did get through the door, you were set up and ready to execute all the men. And I thought that all was excellently depicted to show Ivar's strengths. And I think that's what we're going to see more with Ivar in season 6, as we're going to see him more raiding and going up against Alfred in confrontations in some sort in that way. So I wouldn't have mind seeing way more of that through Ivar throughout his tenure on the show, where didn't necessarily love him in that king role. I would rather see him on the battlefield. Oh, all hail King McKay, King Bjorn. No, we get the real king of Vikings in the live motherfucking chat, King McKay. Good to see King McKay in the live chat. Make sure if you haven't already and you're watching this, you subscribe to King McKay for all the best Vikings coverage on YouTube, no doubt. That's where I fucking learn my bullshit about the episodes and the breakdowns. And I'm sure you can look forward to watching King McKay's breakdown of the little clip we saw of a preview for season 6, which I wasn't expecting that big of a preview for season 6, and I can't wait to watch King McKay's breakdown of that. Because of course he's doing it, so I'm not gonna assume it's fucking happening. But good to see him in the live motherfucking chat. And Floki could have stopped Ivar before he got to this point. Floki needed to. A lot of people could have stopped Ivar before it got to that point. What was the point of Bjorn's son in Torvi's story before the season started? Where's the payoff? We didn't get one. Almost impenetrable. His strategy game is on point. It was, and again, I thought that was really. This was the most that was shown in obviously a long time. It felt like forever. And getting to see that, I think that's the most interesting aspect of Ivar. And the more they focus on that moving forward, as he's a character that's still around, and less pontificating, which I do enjoy to a certain extent with him, but I think it needs to even out that the reason you believe that he's in a position that he's in is because of how much he just belongs on the battlefield, leading people and setting up tactics. How the little piggies will grunt when they hear how the old boar suffered. I eagerly await your reviews every week. We got Ray West, lots of people giving King McKay some love. I love that stuff. Have a good night, kinda. It's great to see you, and thank you so much for the sub and joining the motherfucking party. We'll see you again soon. If you, Bjorn doesn't care about any of his other kids. Oh, the live chats. Okay, so then Ivar is at home being the cock of the walk, and Freya's is not liking it. She's beginning to give him evil eye. So we get the riders the riders in the night coming in, and Freya's leaves and goes to see Hitz and the rest of the crew to set things up. And let's listen to this conversation as she tells him about the fate of his
Freydis, what are you doing?
love.
I had to come. I have things to say. Thora is dead.
No, poor dude.
Ivar burned her alive, along with many others. I am so very sorry. He killed our baby. He is a monster. You have to stop him.
How?
There is a secret way into the town. Ivar created it for his own escape. It's how I got out. I will show your scouts where it is, and I will open it for you in the morning. Be ready.
Thank you.
I want to see Ivar strung up in a tree.
You trust her?
Who cares?
What choice do we have?
We're Klingons. We don't care. No, and I generally liked all of that. And I've said it before, and we're gonna say goodbye to her pretty soon. I thought Freya was a good addition to this cast. I thought she's an excellent actress, and I thought she was one of the higher points for me this season. I enjoyed her in a lot of ways as a character. I enjoyed her because she that sounding out of context. I enjoyed her because she made the Ivar character, added some dynamics, and I enjoyed the scenes between the two of them. But I feel like towards the end, when post Ivar killing their kid, is really when she started to show some of her acting chops, and seeing her turn. Manipulating Ivar didn't really do anything for me, but seeing her separated and seeing the loss that she's showing and the frustration and the fucking anger of wanting revenge on Ivar and being able to bide her time and showing all those multiple emotions and her quiet looks at him while setting this up, I think has been really fucking awesome. Insert a clip of Adam Sandler from Wedding Singer saying, "Once again, things could have been brought to my attention yesterday. Hey, Freya, why didn't you come?" Thought it was cool that they had Freya choked, made her and the same as the manservant she killed. Oh, I didn't even think about that, King McKay. Awesome stuff. The Tyrion sewer system revisited. Yes, that was the other kind of Game of Thrones-y thing that she lets them know about Tyrion's entrance to Kattegat. So then we see Hitzak and Bjorn alone at the door, and Freya is true to her word and opens it up, and Ivar is sleeping, and she sneaks back in bed, but those eyes glow in the night, and he turns to her, and Ivar knows the game is afoot, but it's too late.
The walls again.
I'm not sure I even need to get out of bed.
Seb says, there was a shot in the trailer of Hitzak with very bloodshot eyes and fire in the background. Real life history spoiler. Hitzak is burned alive in an actual real life history. And considering there's only 6A and 6B, it might happen. Harold's chest wounds heal like Thanos. Yeah, it does. Dude, they don't make guys like Harold Finehair anymore. He just rubbed some sand on it and he fucking healed. It's like, fuck you, dude. You don't believe in Harold Finehair that he can heal through rubbing some shit on it, heal internal bleeding? You can't do that? Come on, can everybody do that? Freda's Life Matters is okay, so bam, he's in bed, but he turns to her and it's too late. Bam, it's a new fight, and Bjorn's forces are kicking ass. Bjorn gives another speech.
People of Kattegat, we have come for Ivar. We have no intention of killing our friends. Stay inside. Don't fight us. We are here to set you free.
So Bjorn gives another speech. Stop fighting. We're here to set you free, fuckwads. And we get the main forces versus... and then this is where we set up where we get a battle with Ivar's Kingsguard here. Bjorn and Ivar, they call each other out here. Let's listen to a little bit of this shit. I can't read my notes and I have to listen to remember how this goes down. Hits exit, and Ivar goes. He's gonna lose. Ivar goes to Freya. Okay, so this pauses. It pauses for a second before we get into the fight there. So Ivar disappears from the situation, and he goes to see Freya, and he says, "Listen, someone fucked me over."
Come here. I need you.
To quote Icy Fury earlier, "I knew it was you, Freydis. You're the one who broke my heart."
Someone let them in.
What do you mean?
There's no other way they could have gotten inside the walls. Someone betrayed me and let them in. Are you going to deny it?
And I've said it before, I think some of the best acting scenes that Ivar does is some of the more laid back ones. When he's cackling and up there yelling and screaming, I get the criticism. I love it. I'm overwhelmed by amusement by it. I laugh. I think he eats scenery in a way that I enjoy, but I get the people that's too much for. I think when he does more shit like this scene, I think was really effective. And the look in his face, and again playing the multiple emotions there, and how he ends up killing her, as King McKay pointed out, really works in Vikings in a fucking poetic way, dude. It's fucking poetic. It really comes together, and it really ties the room together. And I thought Ivar did an excellent job here.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, and right here, Freydis was gangster. She stood there and said, "It was me. I don't give a shit."
Do you have our dead son? No.
No. I love how she doesn't deny. Again, I love how she doesn't deny it. Thank you, Sotovia Major. She just straight up is like, "No, you killed my son. Go fuck yourself. It totally was me." And yeah, I want the world to know. I want the world to know. I set you up. It was me. What?
I let them in.
Yeah. What? 2 tears in a bucket. Fuck it. And then the room kind of pauses for a second. Ivar thinks, and quickly inside Ivar's mind. Okay, how do I kill her? Do I stab her? Do I give a speech first and find an interesting way to kill her? Do I get one last kiss in? Let's think. So inside Ivar's mind, he's thinking about all the different ways to kill her, and he decides to get one last kiss and choke her. Freya sleeps with the fishes. I'm upset the bottom of Ivar's crutch wasn't used. That thing was way too knife sharp to not be used.
I love you.
I love you, Fredo.
You were the most beautiful thing that ever happened to me. And there's a part of me that will always love you.
Look at the flowers. Look at the flowers, Freydis. Look at the pretty flowers. It's gonna be okay. Is it raining? Is it pouring?
I'm out of time.
Is a hurricane a-blowing?
I will sit and wait for you.
The fire might be glowing because the poopy keeps on pooping.
I love you, Freydis.
And then the monkey keeps on eating poopy because the doopy coopy boo.
I love you.
I love you. I love you. Ain't gonna hurt nobody, just dancing. Okay, so Ivar says goodbye, and this was a twisted scene, and it was good. One of my favorite scenes of the episode. So as we go back outside, Bjorn, there are some huge parallels between Ivar killing Freydis and Tyria killing Shay. Another Game of Thrones mentioned in this episode, which I can definitely fucking see that, Seb. Like, and fucking good stuff in this episode with those kind of parallel moments, or at least you can see the inspiration. So we go back outside, and Bjorn and Hitzak and Bjorn's girl are kicking some ass of the last of Ivar's guards, and so is Finehair. And Bjorn is changed. He almost looks like he will die. He's getting his ass kicked, and it looks like this could be the end for Bjorn Ironside. Harold sees this and smiles for a second, but he jumps in there, saves Bjorn, takes a shot. It looks bad. Bjorn thanks him, and Hitzak and him celebrate for taking out all the forces. They win. Then they head in, and Bjorn and Hitzak looking for Ivar.
Ivar!
Counselor!
Ivar,
Counselor, where are you, Counselor?
Surrender!
I know you're there, Counselor. Is this what you're doing? But Blue Steel says Ivar is no Tyrion. Freydis, you killed my baby. I'm not waiting for you anywhere. I'm meeting somebody that's a non-baby killer in Valhalla. I'm hooking up with Ragnar. You can go fucking eat some shit. Eat some donkey dew. You poopy. Stay beer. What am I waiting for? Well, what's some audio here? Okay, so they don't see him. They're looking all over, and they see Freya's dead in the bed, and Bjorn is upset, and but she gave their life so they could take over Kattegat, or they could try to kill Ivar, which was unsuccessful, but at least they tried. And was that? I have to watch it again, but was that their baby's skull in a little chest next to her? And yeah. Okay, so Bjorn and Hitzak can take the Iron Throne right now. So they come out there, and bam, who's to show up? But Ubis shows up right there, and then him and Bjorn greet each other really friendly, but Hitzak and him give each other stinky eyeballs, and he gives him the sword of, and then Lagertha's there. Lagertha shows up too.
And here's the
And Lagertha gives him a sword.
And here's the sword of kings.
Kalis.
Hail King Bjorn.
They are Klingons. The sword of Kalis. Yeah, they said that. It's the fucking Klingons. Hail King Bjorn! Hail King Bjorn! No fucking King Bjorn! You're the motherfucker! Dun 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 dun. Bam. And then things get weird. You're like, okay, so this is how they're going to end the episode of Vikings in the season. Bjorn's king. Oh, that's a cool point to end the episode. It's going to end all happy. We're going to probably see Ivar one more time. But no. Then it gets trippy, and then we this is where we fit in some another cool cameo. Hello, wonderful bug. King McKay says, yeah, she said in a previous episode she sent some hunters for the baby's remains, so it was probably King McKay. I missed that the last episodes. But yeah, so she's So Ivar places her in the bed next to the baby right there. Just leaves this shit right there. Hey, Bjorn! But then it gets, you got to give Fine Hair credit for saving Bjorn, as K-Rich says. Critch says, for olden times, call you Critch. And Bjorn does too. I forgot to mention that. Bjorn really gets thank you, and gives him a big hug and proclaims him and blah, 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 blah. So I think that's good for their relationship moving forward. That's a bonding experience. Even though I wouldn't have minded seeing Harold go out in this episode in a really celebrated way, it was still a good moment between the two characters and a bonding experience.
Bjorn's like, thanks, Mom, for the Klingon sword. Appreciate it.
But yeah, and then it gets weird. Bjorn and Lagertha smiles. He rules, close up in his eyes, looking up, and then some trippiness happens. He's covered in blood. We get a flashback to like his whole life. He gets life flashes before his eyes.
You want to fight?
And then we hear a familiar voice.
Power is always dangerous.
Whose voice is that?
The worst.
And then you think you're not going to actually see him, and then, bam, we see Ragnar. We don't see Ragnar for a while, and then they're like, fuck all. Let's just cameo Ragnar in every episode. Can we just cameo Ragnar in every episode? Raise your hand if you want a cameo from Ragnar in every episode. They can do it. I don't mind.
Corrupts the best. Power is only given to those who are prepared to lower themselves to pick it up.
Hey, get me a job as a cameo as the Seer. I'll do it. King McKay and Phil, what do you guys think it means when Bjorn asks the Seer if any of this is real, and the Seer laughs and says, shh? What's that mean? I think it means that it is real. I think it's the Seer's visions in this universe coming true, and it's Bjorn recalling all those moments of all those things and everything coming together, all those visions, and showing the Seer to be true, and it completing the mindset. Yeah, we all live in the eyes of a blue-eyed giant named Macumba.
And so it has come to pass. The future foretold. The dark raven.
And this is the part that felt very conclusive, like they could have ended on this point for Vikings if they had to. It's the Seer. The Seer speaks the Greek chorus essentially to the audience right here, telling you what we just saw, and Bjorn essentially, in a sense, breaking the fourth wall, looking at us. And I don't know, I thought this ending really worked as just a conclusion.
And the wolves have laid bare the bones of corpses. Here is the story of the world. Make what use of it you can.
What of my role? What is to become of me?
No one will ever forget the name of Bjorn Ironside. Greater than Ragnar. But the war is not over.
Is any of this real?
So then we see Ivar getting smuggled out of Kattegat dressed as Raiden to come back in the next Mortal Kombat video game or next season. And then we already get some clips from season 6. I didn't get to write down any notes of it, but let's see if we can listen to anything.
embarked on a new way of life here.
We must all prepare for another attack.
We shall unleash our forces against our brothers.
Then we are not only fighting for ourselves, but for our gods!
He died for all of us.
Vikings.
He died for all of us. That was played as a big moment, but she's probably just talking about Ragnar or something.
Season coming soon.
Coming soon. Vikings coming soon. I like that they said coming soon. So because that makes it seem like it's sooner rather than later. So what do I got to say? At the end of this season of Vikings, the first full season without Ragnar, except Ragnar popped up a little bit here at the end, but you know what I mean. I thought the final 4 episodes leading up to this episode were the best of the season. Was this final episode up there in that category? I don't think it hit on all cylinders, but there was a lot in there that I really liked. There's a couple of silly moments, and it was hard to match the intensity that I feel like they built up in those first 15 minutes. Ivar in the battle was effective to show all of the tactics and stuff, and I enjoyed that. There were just something, maybe a lack of an emotional connection to anything that happened in the battle from losing a character standpoint. The Magnus death didn't hit me hard enough, and not that I'm bloodthirsty, but I'm kind of bloodthirsty on television sometimes in episodes like this. And I think it's opportunities to emotionally connect you in these battles when you lose characters you really care about. And I don't feel like they gave us that. And I feel like that was lacking in this episode. There needed to be one big thing that happened for me that I didn't necessarily see coming, and that's not the Magnus thing that was very plotty and very, very obvious and silly, and I didn't care too much about either. So the Freitas kill was really exceptionally done. That was my favorite scene. Their scenes in this episode were some of my favorite in the episode, some of my favorite of Ivar's stuff. Gunshield, whatever her name is, Bjorn's wife. She was excellent in this episode as well. This was one of her best episodes. Moving forward into season 6 of Vikings, what I'm hoping for is more battles and tactics. I hope this is the final season. I want to see less character shit, emotional stuff, and more action based against the wall, similar to what we saw in season 4, I think it was, of Vikings, which was 90%, or not 90%, 70% action. And I'd love to see a lot more of that, of the Vikings and Alfred and that interaction between Ivar and him, and more stuff with Bjorn. And yeah, I don't know. So we'll see when Vikings is going to come back. Overall, I enjoyed this season. Wasn't my favorite season of Vikings, but I am very excited about season 6. I think season 6 could be a excellent season if they focus on what made this last half of this season really good. Season finales are tough. They're tough. And I think just with a couple of tweaks, this could have been an excellent episode. It was a good episode. I just feel like the standards were extra high from the ones leading up to this episode. How many side buttholes? If we're doing the side buttholes, like I'd give it like 7 side buttholes or something. Bjorn's reign of king will be very hard on him. Ivar's revenge will consume the season part A. Part B will probably be Ivar versus Alfred. Hopefully Ivar's battle with Alfred will be the part B, as Seb and King McKay are talking about in the live chat. Laggy has to be about 93 years old. She only looks about 29. The war is not over means he will have to deal with Ivar. Magnus is no Ken. No, your fault, Phil. The Slayer's Bay soundtrack had you bloodthirsty. I feel like I enjoyed Freitas more in this episode than all the rest of the season combined. King McKay, I am with you. I think post her losing her kid, post Ivar killing the baby, was the best thing that happened to her character, because it allowed her to play different shades of her personality. I was saying this, I think, right before you popped in. It allowed her to show this like extra duplicitous side not just from like a sexual, I screwed you over, Ivar, and I fucked this guy and I'm pregnant and I convinced you you're God. Huh? That stuff. More, you could see her being so destroyed by that and plotting the revenge while still keeping a happy face to convince Ivar she forgave him. And then seeing all that build up to this to actually finally have her opportunity. I too enjoyed her a lot more in post Ivar killing his child or killing his not child. Does anyone know the soundtrack from Ivar killing Freya scene? I don't, but the music in this episode was top notch. Like some of the best of the season and the best in a while on Vikings. So again, overall awesome episode, and it was a fun season to talk about for good and for the bad. And I can't wait to talk about the final 20 episodes of Vikings and seeing what they do moving forward if they decide to do spin-off series. I think now any hopes of Vikings fast forwarding to show us other Vikings time periods leading up and how they always thought they final shot wanted to be the Vikings in North America or something like that. I don't think we're going to get in that direction. I think the story of this series of Vikings is going to be the story of Ragnar and his kids. And I think what King McKay and Seb were saying is pretty accurate, that the first part of the season is probably going to be Ivar dealing with the revenge, building up forces, and them looking for him and a lot of that stuff. And Alfred dealing with the Vikings in Northumbria and that whole situation and other attacks and how that's handled. And obviously some other shit moved in, Bjorn being king. Ubbo will have a storyline with Alfred and being in that area and bouncing around, and who's to say what's going to be happening with Hitsuck and stuff. It's going to be a lot of interesting stories along that line. And then season B will be Alfred versus Ivar, and that will be how the series ends. She went from a 2D character to a 3D character very fucking quickly. I added a fucking to what King McKay said, but just to hammer in the point. Alfred wasn't the best thing on Vikings this season, but he wasn't in the... Alfred was the best thing in Vikings this season, but he wasn't in the finale. Bummer. Does anyone else... Phil and King McKay, who do you guys think the spinoff will be about? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it. And my assumption, it would be a later Viking hero that... Viking hero. A Viking historical figure that isn't in this time period necessarily, or it's like several years later. Someone not connected to the Ragnar family. And who would you guys like to see in it? Ragnar Lothbrok or Travis Fimmel? Not Balon Greyjoy. One question I have for season 6 is whether Ubbo will follow the Guthrum betrayal plot to form a Danelaw. It'll be very interesting to see how much Vikings wants the end game to be where the characters end up where they historically end up. We joke about how they take lots of liberties, but they probably Hirst probably wants all the end game points to be where they are historically, the final place we leave them. So very, very fun stuff to think about moving forward in Vikings and moving forward for season 6 and the spinoff. I'm extremely interested to see where they go with it and how long it takes, and if it will actually happen. History Channel will give him at least one attempt to do a spinoff series. I highly doubt. It'll probably be within 2 or 3 years of Vikings ending. Rollo's descendant William the Conqueror. That would be awesome. That would be a good pick. Ubbo will meet the Uhtred son in Uhtred in season 6, thus completing the chain. Ooh. I think Ubbo is going to have a very interesting, a very fun season 6. And I keep repeating this. I'm looking broken record. 20 episodes is a lot, and that's fun to have to play with. a lot can happen in 20 episodes. Think about how big season 5 has been and how long it seems since we've seen these 20 episodes. 20 episodes is a good chunk of episodes and enough time to really complete the storyline of these characters. Maybe me and you will have to do a live maybe you would have to do a live stream on possible spinoffs. I would love that, King McKay. Once we start to get word and talks about that, I would love to do that. And season 6, King McKay and I absolutely have to do more Vikings stuff together. I think the only thing we've ever actually done together for Vikings was an extra on my Patreon cast that I put out that after our Game of Thrones podcast we did. We babbled for Vikings for like a half an hour, and I ended up posting it on the Patreon feed. But one of these days, King McKay and I are gonna do a live Vikings podcast, and I'm gonna get him on one of these after shows, or we'll do a feedback show or a couple of series of crossover stuff for this final season of Vikings. We'll touch base and talk about it, because I definitely want to have King McKay on for this Game of Thrones season on one of the feedback shows again. So we'll take Vikings questions that day too, if anyone wants to. Make sure you tune into that live podcast. So yeah, I guess this is as good a place as any to end the Vikings discussion for this season. Eric the Red. I think Eric the Red, William the Conqueror are the two most popular picks and hopes for Viking characters moving forward. As for actors I'd like to see in it, that's tougher to think about. And something we'll have to think about moving forward once we know what the show is before casting announcements happen. That'll be a good video or podcast for King McKay and I to do. So I'm not ending this show quite yet. I have a couple other things I want to talk about before we end, but for anyone that's here just for Vikings, sorry, I hit my knee. If anyone's here just for the Vikings discussion, I will still take Vikings questions and comments from the live chat if people want to keep asking questions or have any comments about that, but I am going to change the subject to a couple of other shows right now. So I thank you guys, everyone, for all the support this season and all coming here every week, popping on in, whether it's listening to the audio cast or checking out the video every week or popping in the live motherfucking chat and watching live. You guys make this fun, and we have 20 more episodes of this stuff to kick through. So hopefully you guys will be with us next season for even more Vikings discussions. So here we go. Let's say goodbye to Vikings with what's. I was gonna play a song, but let's play this song. Goodbye, Vikings.
Grab your sword and shield. It's a stolen horse, it's real. It's Groundhog Day on a 3-day course. Final man starts to strafe. Keep this weapon. If you want to be safe, run around like a stick in the mud. In the fairy rains, in the mouths of floods. It's funny how evil can push politeness. You can't fight. It's a time crisis.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Issues program. I'm going to talk about 2 other shows right now. Hopefully some of you guys will stick around. If not, I totally understand. And thank you so much for everyone checking out the Vikings podcast. And also, if you use Amazon shopping, start your link with this Amazon shop. It's like change in the jar. It's an affiliate link. And you start your shopping with that link, and you buy something anyway. We get like 2 pennies here and there, and it adds up. So thank you guys for the people that have been doing it and helping out. So we really do fucking appreciate that. So, okay. So what I want to talk about here is The Punisher. And I'm also going to be talking about True Detective Season 3, Episode 4. So I guess I will talk about The Punisher quick, because Joe and I will eventually do something a little bit more of a deeper breakdown of the season when we can get Joe on a podcast. So I want to talk about this Punisher season as a whole. But first, I guess I should play the rest of Tim Gersh's message, because Tim's going to listen. He's like, you played 2 seconds of my message, then you cut it off. So let's listen to a little bit of Tim's message first.
Let's go. Yeah, I can't really get things Vikings. I mean, it's not to say, but lately it's not a good show. I mean, it's great. Yeah, just, for whatever reason, it doesn't draw me in. But, we'll say this. Don't review Punisher Season 2. In fact, don't even watch Punisher Season 2. Let's just pretend Punisher ended already. First season is all we got. There's no number 2.
Oh, you're number 2. I'm number 2.
Yeah, that season was a great big number 2. Well, it's all over the place. Yep, England episode. Shane will smear and get up the walls. Because it's that bad. I mean, really, I was thinking about suicide instead of just watching it all. It's how bad it was. Alright? But anyway.
So that's Tim motherfucking Gersh. Talk about Punisher Season 2. Okay, Punisher Season 2. It's hard to talk about this because I feel like it wasn't horrible and it had its moments. I thought the beginning of it had some moments and towards the end of it had some moments, but there was a lot in the middle that was a mess, and I wasn't completely. It's a weird feeling I had while watching it. I wasn't bored while watching it. There was at times I was, but it wasn't something I was drawn to binge watch or even excited to go back and watch every episode. Where we're in Punisher Season 1 and most of the other ones of these series, even the ones I wasn't so much into, had a good bounce into the next episode. This, watching these 13 episodes, was a slog. And I think the biggest problem in it was it shouldn't have been 13 episodes. It was padded out in a way that it didn't have to, so we didn't get the Punisher being the Punisher till very select moments when they let him be the Punisher. And instead, it should have been a lot more of that, a lot less of this, and 8 episodes. That's all it needed to be, maybe even 6. It didn't need to be 13 episodes, the story that they had. The story that they had, and there's going to be some spoilers here, I guess, so if you don't want to be spoiled, sorry, this is a spoiler section. The character of Pilgrim was met because they used him too little. When he came to play, he was pretty good, especially in episode 10. Episode 10 was one of his best episodes when he was in the bar with the mob, with the white mob power guys. In his spirit journey with his wife, it was a bit much, but it came later. They should have focused in the season a little bit more on him, mixed with Corbin Bernstein's character, Dorn from the Major League movies, and his wife, because they were a lot more interesting than focusing again on Billy, where the Billy story was all right, but it didn't really do it for me. And Frank's sort of reluctance to punish her out sometimes, and the discussions reminded me of like a Rocky movie where people are like, you can't fight the fight, Rocky. You can't fight the right way. I won't fight the fight. I mean, when he's full Punisher out, it works. And there's moments that work in the season. I thought the final climax of the season was done well and was entertaining to me. And the finish of the season, the topper, the way the season ends, the final thing you see in the season is the best part. The best part. And it should have been more of that. And I don't know. Madani was hit or miss. There was moments I liked of her. There's moments I didn't. Punisher was good when they let him do things. The gore was top notch when they did it. Corbin Bernsen looked like Walter White. Billy had an interesting arc, effective, but could have been done without some of the slower beginnings that happened with it. It could have been streamlined. Curtis was pretty good through the whole season. I liked Curtis. When Frank, I like his relationship with Frank. They have a good chemistry. The Karen Page. Okay, Karen Page shows up, and that was a fun episode with Karen. But give me a fluck flying break. There was a point in the season, again spoilers, that Frank gets in the news, and it's clear he's in New York again, and there's talks about him, blah blah blah. Matt would have showed up. Daredevil would have showed up to stop him, to spy on him. Or he was out there. We just didn't get to see him. And that kind of pissed me off. Dr. Krista was an interesting character at times, but at times over the top and not someone I really had a lot of character empathy for. And it made it hard to relate to her arc either. She seemed like an unrealistic character to me in a world that seems like it usually has somewhat realistic characters, even with superhero kind of stuff. I don't know. I wish I liked it more than I did. Instead, it's something that I want to sort of brush under the table and be like, okay, it happened, and fear that it isn't the last we see of the Punisher, because all of the season 2s have been relatively weak. I'm not saying Daredevil season 2 was weak, but it was the weakest of the 3. So maybe a third season of Punisher would be better. But if there was never any more Punisher and they could just find ways of fitting that character in other mediums, I would be awesome. That would be awesome to me. But the problem is, since this universe is ending, some of the best versions of some of those characters that exist might not get to play those characters again. And that's what sucks about these universes ending. And that's why I have mixed feelings shitting on this season a little bit, because I want this universe to continue, but this was not one of my favorite seasons of this universe. But if I had to rank it, I liked it better. I'd rank it on par to how I felt about Jessica Jones season 2. There were parts of it I liked. I liked the main character. I would say I liked Jessica Jones season 2 a little bit better. But I would say I still didn't love this. At least the end of the season was good. It's the last thing you'll remember because it's the last thing. I need to watch I Hate Karen. I hope she dies. Josh Barenthal was good as always, but the story surrounding him was meh. Santovia says, I was very disappointed in season 1. I'm at episode 11 of Punisher season 2. Feel free to spoil the shit. Kind of underwhelming season. I'm not going to spoil point for point what happens. All I'll say is the conclusion of especially the second to last episode, episode 12, I think 10 through 13 are the best episodes of the season. And the final moment of the season, when you finally get to see the Punisher being the fucking Punisher, like, what the flying fuck is? That's the problem with the season. It's like a double origin story from the first season, in where now it's almost like the character regressed a little bit from the points where we've seen him previous. Like when we see him in Daredevil Season 2 and he's kicking ass and just a machine, to what we see in Daredevil's era on Punisher Season 1, where he's mainly the Punisher through a lot of that, especially once he finds the shit out about Billy and he's just kind of focused forward. He just moves like crazy Punisher. And in this season, there's a lot of reflection. I mean, like, he's still awesome. John Barenthal kills it in every moment. He is the Punisher. I mean, I guess that's the best compliment you can give an actor, and it's overstated, but you guys know what I mean. He is the fucking character, and I hope he gets to play him again. I hope there's more stories, and that's what's good about television seasons in this way, in the way that every season is a graphic novel of sense. That means there could always be other ones. Some I'm gonna like more than others. This one wasn't my favorite, and I think part of it again was there was enough good shit on there to make a good album. But the stupid fucking shit, the band was conditioned to make a double album. So the material is watered down. If this season was 6 episodes, 8 episodes, I would rather have 6 to 8 episodes of awesomeness than 13 episodes of stuff that felt like we had a lot of shit we didn't need to make everyone make us okay with the Punisher being the Punisher. Just show me the Punisher being the Punisher. The Defenders sucked, and tag team shows should have been awesome. Is Ivar still alive? Ivar is still alive. Escaped, dressed like Raiden, heading off to Wessex, possibly, or biding his time for some more revenge. If Disney picks up any show character, I hope they make a show called Karen, just to see all of you motherfucking sperm. I like the story of the Punisher movie with John Travolta more. Having his whole family die and just his wife and kid made it more impactful to me. Thank God is the reason I keep watching. Thank God Ivar is the reason I keep watching Vikings. No, he will be an active part of the final season of Vikings, it looks like. Ivar didn't go anywhere. In fact, none of our main characters died in this episode of Vikings for anyone just tuning in, seeing the title of the video, and not hearing my preempt that I'm talking about other stuff too. But feel free to keep asking Viking questions if you want. But Ivar, yes, he is still alive and escaped. No main characters were harmed in the making of this episode.
No main characters were harmed in the making of this episode of Vikings. Please tune into Season 6.
So, I don't want to talk too much more about this season of Punisher. It happened. We'll get Joe's thoughts on at some point in time. Some point in time. Wait. Why can't I once have the sound cue queued up when I want it to click? At some point we'll have a
What did Joe think? What did Joe think? What did Joe think? Was it good or did it really fucking stink? What did Joe think? What did Joe think? What did Joe think? Was it alright or did it drive him to drink?
So yeah. So we'll definitely get Joe's thoughts on Punisher, and we'll break it down a little bit more. Joe and I had a good discussion about Punisher when he was over here the other day. We thought about broadcasting it. We probably should have, but shit happens. So let's see. I just want to renew that. Okay, cool. I just got a text message. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm not gonna read that, but thank you. You're fucking awesome. Okay, I thought Joe stopped watching the show until a certain person dies. Yes, he did, but I'm talking about we'll get his thoughts on the Punisher. So one last show I want to talk about here at the end, and this could be a little bit more of a breakdown. So if people don't want to be spoiled on this, I would do that. And maybe I might cut this section out for its own video. So just in case, I'm going to play the theme song again. I might not do this because I can be a lazy man. And I'm busy, and I'm extra busy these days. But we will, just in case I want to do it, just in case I want to do it, let me do this now. So. Oh yeah, here we go. First time. What's that? Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. This is for True Detective Season 3, Episode 4. Wow, what a good episode. The hour and the day. Another excellent episode of True Detective. True Detective Season 3, for me anyways, keeps hitting a home run each and every episode. Wow. Everything that I said it before, and I guess this is the best way of saying it. If you liked Season 1 of True Detective, it's hard for me to imagine you would not be feeling Season 3. We also got a Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson little cameo. You can find a lot of people breaking that down at this point, and a lot of articles. If you just Google them shits, you can find that out, which breaks down that they're on a computer screen at some point in the episode to prove that this is a shared universe of some sort. So very cool stuff, and a good episode that just built onto the plot. We're halfway through this season. Each timeline gets even more interesting. I don't even know which timeline's my favorite timeline. It's one of those ones that I enjoy all aspects of it. Again, this season reminds me a lot of the final episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, All Good Things, with the multiple timelines of Picard. And I love how Future, even though he's losing his mind, he's starting to put together, and I don't know if other people think that maybe he is that the son and the television show creator are hooking up. That's why you had the two wine glasses, and he asked his son about it. But a lot of really cool stuff, and the episode ended on a cliffhanger of sorts in the 1980s timeline, where the guy, or I forget his name, and I have it written in the notes, is running away and boarding himself in his house while he's with all the explosions and stuff. Woodard's house, I believe, is his name. So yeah, I'm going to break down this episode a little bit, do a little mini recap. This is if people are watching this on its own, this is as part of a Vikings podcast I just did. So it's at the end of a night, but I have to talk about this episode, and I have to talk about this season. So yeah, let's get into it. Billy definitely has a thing for Middle Eastern chicks. I thought Joe stopped watching the show until a certain people dies. The Whispering Dead demands your attention. Joe is crazy. Did you get that job you're looking forward to, and what's the job? I will be talking about that soon, Jay. And yes, I did. All roads lead back to Star Trek. Ay caramba. Yes, please steal. Trashmen with claymores. So I stole this recap from EW, so I did not write this recap, but I did watch the episode. I didn't write a recap with it because I didn't have time while I was watching it. So last week's concluded with Wayne and Roland reuniting in 1990, but we start here in 1980. The photo of Will's first communion brought the detectives to the local church, where the priest tells them that Julie was excited about seeing an aunt, which is suspicious since she doesn't have an aunt. Roland is suspicious of the priest, questioning a man, anyone who's celibate, everyone's fucking something. He declares that the priest also directs him towards Patty, an older lady who made the dolls for church. She reveals that a man with a dead eye bought 10 for his niece and nephew. She assumes that he lives on the tracks, and Will and Roland go there, and it was all about Julie and Will protecting his sister. So then they head over to the junction and eventually come to the home of him, which it turns into a whole big defensive situation, and they make it in there, and they talk to him, and basically you can tell pretty quickly that it is not this guy that did the murders. they make it, but Roland's car is smashed and they're driving home, and that they're soon to return to the church to look out for the dead-eyed man. But Roland finds some serious ass, including Laurie, who he takes no liking to, and they continue later where Wayne and Emil go out to dinner, which includes probably some more murder talk than is ideal on a first date. Also, like I said, I'm reading someone else's article. But it's going pretty well since they're getting married. That was probably, if any scene in the episode that I was just not quite as into as I could be, but I do like it all. It all makes sense and it all fits together in this show. And the acting is really awesome this season. Even more than the storyline, I think it's the acting is taking itself serious in a way that season 1 did, that season 2 did not. I don't want to use every opportunity I talk about this show to bash on season 2, but still, it's worth happening. It's the Godfather 3 of the group. Yeah, we're also learning more about how Hayes got screwed over twice. And or how he gets screwed over and how his wife plays a part in it, because some of that builds into the tension that's with them. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out over these final 4 episodes, because we know we're going to get conclusive answers to pretty much everything. So, and who's killing the family? Okay, so they head over to so let's go back to 1990, where Wayne returns home excited about his new gig and opening the Parcell case, but Emil is pissed about the recent treatment of her, and their argument moves upstairs, which prompts Wayne to turn up the volume of the TV. The kids won't hear them, and it ends up being a smart idea because the argument goes in a lot of really crazy directions, but they end up having sex, and and he says to her, "You have some major cognitive dissonance." It's just a funny scene that really works and shows a real dynamic between a couple. It reminded me of real relationships right there. So we're settled in, especially in the time of the 90s. Wayne, to get back to work, he meets with Roland and the higher-ups to learn of the expectations of him and the task force. Kent, who's now the Arkansas attorney general, in a douchebag and very salty towards Wayne. "We're not going to do any of that shit, right?" Wayne asks once they leave the room, he just talks shit to Wayne, and then Wayne says as they leave, we're not gonna do any of the shit that they said, right? And Roland responds, "Yeah, I wasn't planning on it." So they're back at it, and they knew that Julie's and Will's mom, Lucy, had died, but now it's revealed that her cousin Dan, maybe the peeping Tom guy, has been missing in action as well. And then Wayne finally gets his hands on the tapes of the Walgreens, and after a lot of work, this is one of the best parts of the episode, he finally does see Julie alive. And, yeah, argument sex is by far the best sex. It is definitely up there in that list of the best moments to just break down moments and break the tension of a room. And sometimes it's just needed in a moment between a couple to just stop the bullshit you guys are talking and just connect. So fast forward to 2015, and Wayne's back pursuing the case. He stops by his son's police station, and he's charming the front desk person, and he insists that this all is good for his memory. It's the only thing keeping him alive. Wayne asks Henry about the documentary director, which seems weird, but I think he's probing because he knows they're hooking up. Wayne visits Eliza's hotel room and spots 2 wine glasses, and he believes his son's with her. Wayne wants to know what she knows about the case, and she is not doing this now. She can't show all the cards, but she reveals that the remains of cousin Dan, who apparently died and ended up resurfacing in 1990. Later, Wayne is recording himself and saying he needs to tell Roland about this latest intel. And this timeline becomes very much about him needing to see Roland in this timeline. And I like that. And I'm excited to see Roland in this timeline. And I wonder how far we're going to have to wait before we see that. If we're going to see that in the next episode, if that's going to be something that ends up happening in the final episode that that connects the dots, and it's them solving the case for the ultimate time in the final timeline, which I think is going in the direction as she keeps asking him, are you still working this case? Are you wanting to work the case? And the answer is yes, he wants to work this case. And this is, even if it kills him, he wants to solve this fucking case for real. That's what makes the multiple timelines thing so interesting, because whoever they get in both the other timelines is the wrong thing. So now to lead them forward to have to find all the details in 2015. Yeah, the actor who plays Wayne's son is doing a great job too, showing how his affection for his father might be clouding, but it doesn't completely cloud his police instincts, because he can see it all there. It's really well done in all accounts. This show is extremely well cast and extremely well acted. Excuse me. Sex with your wife's sister after an argument, it's not bad either. Oh my goodness. Critch, what a scumbag, says Blue Steel. So, back in... Excuse me. Back in 1980, we get a little bit of a backstory to Tom and Roland's 1990 friendship, as Roland gets a call to pick up a drunk and beaten Tom at a bar, which is run by a guy that's speaking with Lucy. He's venting in the car. Tom says the N-word in reference to Wayne, but quickly apologizes, and he said, "You could have got your ass kicked now." They responds, who doesn't appreciate the comment, which Tom says at his house reminds him too much of his kids, and he wants to die. Roland lets him sleep on his couch. Meanwhile, Emil does make a stop at the Purcell house, where Lucy opens up to her. The kid's mom's taking the blame for what happened, admitting that this wasn't a happy home. She even quotes the note that was sent: "Children should laugh." The interaction flips through when Emil suggests talking to Wayne. And Wayne is off on his own feisty conversation with young Freddie, who has just turned 18. The cops joke that they chipped in and got him a life in prison for his birthday. He admits that taking Will's bike and seeing the boy come around looking for his sister, Will would then go into the woods and Freddie would chase after him, but allegedly was too drunk and lost and thought the thought of jail sends him into an uncontrollable sobbing match, especially when Wayne tells him what will happen to him in there. The prison rape will go real. Good for you. And he just fucking freaks out. He's like, "Something you want to tell me?" So the interrogation becomes the least of their worries after they get word of what's going on at Woodard's. Men again came from the trash man, who sprints home in a really intense scene and jumps into his house, which is full of guns, which goes nicely with the explosives he sets up. Wayne and Roland pull up just as one of the men kicks down the door, and the screen cuts as we hear a huge explosion, and that's the end of the episode. Great episode of True Detective. Exciting stuff. Cannot wait to see next week's. It's definitely right now the show that I'm the most excited about, and the show I've been most excited about in a long time. And I'm glad about that, because I was nervous about this season, nervous where it would go. Was this my favorite of the 3 episodes? If I'm ranking them, it's hard. I'm not going to do that. I think it was definitely all fits into it. This is not episodic, even though it is. It's one giant story. It's an 8 episode story that all fits together. It's not something that really should be judged too much episode to episode. It should be looked at as a whole picture when it's done. That being said, I think each episode has been on par with each other, doing what it needs to do to set things up. I wouldn't say any episode has been better than any other in that sense. I think that's one of the things that's really awesome about this season of True Detective, is each episode seems to be just doing the same thing and killing it, and adding more texture to the world, adding more answers to these stories, and setting up this mystery. But while not we know what we need to know. It's not the mystery is out there. It's not so much confusing, like what's going on. It's just who committed these crimes, and everything's being unveiled, and we're seeing how it all gets unveiled. So it's I can't wait till next week, and hopefully I will talk about it on Monday or Tuesday, maybe on Sunday after the episode airs. But Sunday's going to be a weird day with I'm doing some jamming in the morning, and then a Super Bowl party at some point possibly, and then maybe a certain trailer might be out in the Super Bowl. I think some people are hoping. So Sunday might be a weird day to do another show later in the evening, but possibly I'll see how I feel Sunday evening and what my work thing is for Monday morning. Other than that, everybody, tomorrow night I will be on another person's channel, another couple people's channel, Order of the Green Hand. I will be on talking some Game of Thrones. The topic is still yet to be determined. Their patrons will be voting on a topic, so that will be at 7 o'clock on their channel. So definitely come on over there and check it out. And if you're there, make sure you say hi and give your support in the live motherfucking chat from me. So yeah, I will talk to you guys, some of you guys, tomorrow evening. Other than that, I will talk to you guys very soon for True Detective, the next episode, and some other stuff coming up soon as well. Some more Game of Thrones stuff here on this channel as well, leading up to the final season. Hopefully, again, we will have a trailer on Sunday and some other cool podcasts that are some requests coming up soon too that I'm going to be getting to while we're in a little bit of break here before we get into our next show, The Walking Dead. So everyone, now's as good a time as any to have a good night, or to say a good night. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, share the channel with a friend, help us keep growing. If you're listening to this podcast, make sure you are subscribed to the podcast, and make sure you help share that as well by leaving some comments and leaving some star ratings, and help more people know about this podcast. So I will talk to you guys next time. Later. I forgot to take some comments. Wife sold her bastard daughter to the Chicken King daddy is my guess. Lucy saying the children should laugh was a definite what the fuck moment. She's hiding something. What about the old man scene surrounded by the souls he's taking? Chilling. Roland comes across as a pretty good guy. I thought the preview of episode 5 showed the older Roland. Oh, awesome. I didn't get to see the preview. Yes, older Roland. Blue Steel says, I think the first 2 episodes float a lot better. The most recent 2 have the same plot line, but the editing took a stumble. I think that has to do with the director of the episode. I think a certain director directed the first 2 and someone else directed the last 2. I could be wrong about that, but I will check some IMDb next True Detective show. Remind me about that. Either Hood Foods or I think the chicken plant. They're definitely involved, says Blue Steel. Fermius, welcome. Welcome and good night. Season finale, Ragnarok. Good night, everybody.